If you'd like to see some black on white crime, then you've come to the right place. We immediately jump into this role featuring Matthew, who's on the left, the white dude, and we have Joey on the right, the black guy. Now, right before this role is taking place, Joey actually got recently promoted to blue belt, so congratulations to him. Matt on the left is a white belt. I'm not sure how many stripes he has. He's very new to the gym and he should probably be a blue belt, but it's always hard to tell how you should rank guys when they're new to your gym. We currently see that Matt has an armbar on Joey and he's starting to rotate towards Joey's legs. This creates a little bit harsher of an angle, so he's able to break the arm free. If Matt was sitting perpendicular to him, then he would have less leverage that he could use to Joey's arms. Now, what Matt does well here is he isn't rushing too much. He makes sure that while he's fighting these hands and looking for the armbar, he always kept it tight until he's able to get the tap. Joey holds on for dear life while he can, but he decides it's not worth a broken arm right before his fight, and he decides to tap. As a new round begins, your wonderful cameraman, me, decides to get a new angle and they start to work the wrestling. Matt recently went to Daisy Fresh, I believe, so he's been working his wrestling there and working his wrestling at the gym. Joey goes for a single leg, but Matt hits a high flyer. Joey does a good job, however, keeping a tight waist, but he really should be getting off of his knees so he can stand up with this, and then he'd be able to control the position a lot better. Since Joey kept his leg in, but he's on his knees and he has an underhook, Matt hits an Uchimata with his overhook. It's not the cleanest, but it'll get the job done, and he gets right into Joey's half guard and passes then into side control. It's at this point you get to see why Joey got his blue belt today. Attendance points. That's all that matters. He did his attendance, he showed up enough, he trains, he fights, and he got his blue belt, even though Matt is about to smash him here by first jacking up the arm and then putting his head under so he can start setting up his own head and arm choke. Matt is being very courteous and moves Joey's hair so it isn't going to pull his afro as he goes for this choke. Joey goes for a defense. In this defense where you grab your leg to release pressure, it might work to release pressure, however, it's not going to help your positioning at all. Matt just keeps moving around and squeezing until he can get the tap. Just for the record, this video is not to rag on Joey until this next part where he has a tie and Matt shrugs him off and then hits him with a quick trip. Now you can rag on Joey for falling to that. Matt decides for his top game, he's going to go and put his leg in so he can start working the knee cut and then immediately transition to reverse half. As he transitions to reverse half, Joey tries to come up with this and he gets his arms around the leg, which is nice, except for when Matt comes down, he's able to immediately put on an omoplata. Joey does a good job relieving pressure by trying to move forward, and Matt makes a mistake by squaring up with him for the omoplata. This allows them to scramble, however, then Matt is able to get on top and go into north-south. Joey employs his best defense by laying flat on his back like he's in a porno, while Matt decides to sit on to a knee mount position. From here, we can see Matt is attacking Joey's right arm by constantly crawling his hand up the mat. What this does is it extends Joey's arm so he can replace that pocket he just opened with his knee and transition into a higher mount. Matt then starts looking for a mounted triangle, and he's already cut most of the angle needed to get the finish. Joey decides to lock his hands together so Matt isn't able to start attacking them. By doing this, then the arm isn't across Joey's neck, so he has a little bit more space so he can keep breathing as the arteries aren't completely tied up until Matt then goes into guard and locks the triangle down completely and makes it quite a bit tighter, even when Joey is keeping his arm behind him. Now, the nice part about these two is that when they restart the rounds, they're going immediately into wrestling. Not a lot of people do that at the gym, so I appreciate seeing that. Matt hits a quick shot, and he gets behind Joey, and he attempts to look for a trip. He messes up on this trip by having his weight too low, and Joey comes back on top and gets right into half guard. We can consider this a moral victory for Joey as he lands on top. This is the end of the video, so make sure to sub because we're almost at 1,000. Comment if you like the video, and also press like, please. Thank you.